in Swami's book, The Path, he tells the story of he and Norman, who was a monk with him, a young man at that time, but a very big, strong man. They were digging a swimming pool for Master at his desert retreat. Swami said he never used the swimming pool. It was just a way to have them around. And they had to dig all this sand out and pile it up, make big piles of sand. And it was very hot and hard work. And just before lunch, Master came out and said, you know, all those piles of sand don't look very nice. I think we should smooth them out. So he got a big 2x4, and each of Swamiji and this other man had to stand, and they had to push the sand off until it was completely smoothed out. Swami writes, I'm not sure if you can understand how hard this was to do. He said, but it was very hard. They were hungry, they were tired, and they were hot. And Master kept just saying, one more. Oh, that works well. Let's just do one more. And finally, as Swami puts it, he broke the right way. He just knew Master was just testing them, their willpower, their willingness. He broke the right way. He just started laughing. Master said, oh, I was just having fun with you. Let's go in and have lunch. That's something really very extremely real to remember. You know, when the pressure comes. And when Swami said to me, you never fooled me, I broke the right way. I said, oh, what a colossal waste of time. And after that, I was frank with him. But in my heart, I always knew he was right. I just didn't know why he was right yet. You know, that's how we have to think about it. And it's interesting because here in the very reading, the Bhagavad Gita says, you know, those who love me wholeheartedly, who are attached to me wholeheartedly, I enlighten them. And then he uses the phrase, I give them discernment. Isn't discernment an interesting word? Discernment is to be able to tell the difference between one thing and another, between one lower truth and a higher truth, between what is really important and what is just my long-standing habit. My dear friend Naidruva, when I touched the politics, no way. There was just no way. It was her whole identity. She'd been a black woman. Not only did she break the color bar when she went to Stanford, but all of her growing up, the first black family in a neighborhood, the first black family in a high school, it was just part of her. And there was no part of her, I don't mean she was that Swami was asking her to give up her dignity as a human being, not at all. But there's a whole lot of politics and other things that come after that. And it wasn't something she could give up. But she never defined herself against the spiritual path in that respect. You can discern the difference. You can quietly in your own room listen to country music and enjoy it, you know, or whatever small thing it might be. But don't ever don't ever allow it to become your self-definition that is stronger than being the disciple, that's stronger than being a child of God. And Master says, it needn't happen if you stay in tune. And I'm coming back to just like, what is attunement? It's who am I? What is life? You know, and again, the Gita says, those who love me, who are attached to me, you know, when everything else is taken away, who are we? What do we have left? Why do I live? Where do I think my life comes from? And yes, of course, we have all these confusions and weaknesses and compulsions. I have been amused by myself. I live in the community. I live in a 2-story house. The kitchen is downstairs. My bedroom is upstairs. Oh, there was a woman writer talking about procrastination when you're a writer. And because I am a writer, procrastination is a real issue. She talks about when she finally sits down to write, she's just about to start, she says, somewhere in the house, a piece of chocolate is calling my name. Don't you understand that? I've been upstairs in my bedroom. You know, it's time to go to sleep or it's time to meditate. Somewhere downstairs in the freezer is a chocolate chip cookie that is just so wants to be part of me. And I will get up and walk all the way downstairs. And these are harmless things. Swamiji once said to Master, help me to overcome my attachment to good food. Swami was very particular in what he liked to eat, and his Leela, who was his cook for 20 years, she was superb at what she could do. She knew exactly what she wanted. In fact, it was so sweet. On her birthday in 2012, she cooked dinner, she took off her apron, she hung it up. The next day she went to the doctor and she was riddled with cancer. And I think she already knew it. She lay down, and just a little over a month later, she passed away. But even when she was on her deathbed, I remember her saying about the person who was trying to help fill in to cook for Swami, he doesn't like broccoli. Tell them that don't cook him any broccoli. It was just so, just so sweet. But Swami was very particular, and she did exactly what he wanted. But he said to Master, help me overcome my attachment to good food. He says, when ecstasy comes, everything goes. So don't become over-scrupulous. That's what the Catholics call it, over-scrupulosity. I remember falling into that, where all of a sudden you just get so paranoid. I have to do this because God won't like it if I don't, and God will like it if I do. And I remember I just got so snarled up in my mind. The Catholics who've been at this for a long time know how this all works. You start being a good monk, and then you try to be a better monk, and then you try to be a better monk, and finally you're so stiff you can hardly love at all. And Swami's saying to me, Asha, God doesn't necessarily want you to be unhappy. He said, that's your idea. And it's sort of like, all right. So attunement isn't like that. Attunement is because we love. You just come back to the word love, who are attached to me in love. When you love someone, you don't work at it. It's just what you always think about. Your mother has a new baby, she can't turn her mind away from the baby for a second. Papa comes home from work and the little toddler runs. I watched this scene that I could see from the hill at Ananda village. Papa was over here, child about 6 was over here, and I could see the whole scene because I was on the hillside. Child screams, Daddy, Daddy, comes running across this whole thing and just propels herself into his arms, knowing full well that she'll catch him. I thought, whoa, how do you ever be detached from that? No chance at all, and no point even in trying. You just love God through it. Love God beyond it. Love God in everything. That's the whole message. And all wisdom comes from that. Because I love God, because I love God in everyone. Everything else follows from that. It's not complicated. It's what does Divine Mother want from me? It's not who did what to whom and why are they treating me this way and that way, which is so easy to do. Why is the world the way it is? Why did God make it? Why are those terrible people in charge? What am I afraid of? No, it's just, all right, Divine Mother. All right, Master. Here I am. I have one purpose. I'm here to be your instrument in this world. What do you want from me? After all the dust settles, what do you want from me? Ask that question. How can I serve? How can I love? How can I be your instrument? That is attunement. And then you will stay on the path forever, because where could you go? What choice do you have? This is who I am. God bless.